Signor Tassi.
Sorry. Yes.
So, retract her testimony.
Yes. And Artemisia said, I don't want to do that. And he said, well, why don't you blame someone else for it then?
Blame someone else for it, like who?
Cosimo.
Cosimo's dead.
That's what she said. I didn't want to cause a fuss. This is all I wanted to say. I just thought you should know.
Thank you. Signor Tassi. Signor Tassi, would you like to respond to the claims?
Yes. May I?
Oh.
You? Thank you. First of all, I would ask you not to be offended by the lack of respect that I have shown in uttering those insulting words against Donna Tuzia here present. I did not mean to offend or show contempt towards your lordship or the court, as I honour all of you. I do. I bow before you.
Oh, for God's sake.
God grant she be equally honourable as to tell the truth when she speaks. I blurted out those words in anger, forgetting where I was.
It's a court of law.
Thank you! What she says is simply not true.
I tell you what is true. Agostino and Cosimo forged an order to obtain a painting as though on Artemisia's instructions.
Okay, this we know about. This is the alleged theft of the Judith and Holofernes from the Gentileschi house.
Yes, the one with the man sprawled out on the bed, that one. I was present for this. Cosimo wrote a note in his own hand, pretending it was Artemisia. I reprimanded them. I told them they shouldn't be taking a painting of that sort away from a young woman, but they stole it because of its likeness to Agostino. They were worried it would arouse suspicion.
Now, you are only saying this because of what I said to you at Gentileschi's door. Take that fucking smirk off your face. You're pathetic, aren't you?
Think you imagine I'm still a woman who answers to you? Artemisia, can you please assist the court in describing the painting that was taken from you?
Yeah, okay, so it's huge. It's life-size and it's dark.
And what does it depict?
It's very dark. But it's not as if the darkness is a solid background. It's more as if the darkness is this endless space where you imagine that things are lurking and they have the potential to just emerge. And from above, there are these shards of light, and they are illuminating three figures, but only in fragments. So the lights, they're catching tops of arms, locks of hair, and a bed. And two of these figures, they are women. And they're both wearing these big, rich dresses, and one's blue, and one's gold. And those two colors together, side by side, they really work to draw out all the blood that's in the image. So the blood that is pouring down the side of the bed, the blood that is spilling out of the man's throat, the blood that is arcing out of his neck and landing on the women's arms and their breasts and, right, because the women, they're beheading a man. Did I not mention that? No, okay, so one of the women then, obviously she has a huge sword in one hand, and in her other hand she is clutching a clump of his hair and she's pushing it down to the pillow, and she is Judith. And the woman by her side who is helping her, using both her hands and her full body weight to grip him there so he can't move, that is her maid Abra. And him, naked, barely covered but by a blanket, that is Holofernes. So that's what you see, right? You see the dark, the light, the women, the man, the knife, the blood. And this story, it comes from the book of Judith. Judith, she slays the Assyrian general to free her city Bethulia. And yes, everybody has a go at painting this, but nobody gets it right. I mean, Caravaggio's Judith, she's got no power in her arms, and she just looks so sad about, and also, she makes it look like it's gonna be easy to behead someone, But it isn't easy to behead someone, is it? No, it isn't. I've seen it. When I was 6, my father, he took me to go and see the execution of the Cencis. He held me up on his shoulders so I could watch above the crowd as that family were led to the top of the scaffold. And the youngest boy, Giacomo, they smashed his head in with a mallet. But the women, Lucrezia and Beatrice, they were beheaded with this tiny blunt axe. And that time, that effort, that exhaustion that it takes to do that to someone, I've given it to my Judith. She has rolled up her sleeves to get this job done, and you can see her muscles are pushing against her skin because obviously he is writhing and he is fighting, but he can't even scream anymore because she has already got that knife halfway between his vocal cords. So any attempt he even makes just catches and bubbles pathetically in the blood in his throat. But she isn't listening to that anyway. She is just concentrating on cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting, just shutting him up completely by calling on all that rage that she has been left sitting in alone for months and channeling that into an action.
Right. Okay. So, are you saying this painting is again autobiographical?
Well, I'm saying I was angry after he raped me, yes.
Did you continue to see Signor Tassi after he allegedly raped you?
Yes, I did continue to see him, but what I was doing with Agostino, as he had dishonored me, I needed him to marry me.
May I suggest that you knew he wasn't going to marry you, but that you were enjoying the relationship?
Sorry, enjoying it?
Yes.
No. No. And I would say to you that actually as time went on, I became nothing but more convinced that Agostino, he actually would marry me. Because any time any other man expressed an interest in doing so, he personally prevented that from developing.
Did you continue to have intercourse throughout this time?
Yes, we had sex on many other occasions.
Would you say the intercourse became consensual, pleasurable even?
Well, I bled every time Agostino had relations with me. I didn't know much about those things, by the way, so I did ask him about that, but he said that that was normal for someone like me who had a weak constitution.
Were you in love with Signor Tassi?
Are you saying it makes a difference?
Are you telling the truth?
Yes, I am. I am telling the truth. If this was not the truth, then I would not have said it.
Yet Signor Tassi says he was never alone with you in your rooms. Can you please tell the court the manner in which this alleged rape occurred?
What, again?
Yes! But this time, look him in the eye. Please proceed.
As I've already told your lordship, last year, during the month of May, Agostino used to frequent my father's house. He came as a friend, and we trusted him. And I would never have dared believe that he would do damage both to me and to the friendship that he had with my father. I wouldn't have believed that until he came one day. He grabbed me by the waist, he threw me on my bed, locked the door and raped me, taking away my virginity. And that struggle, it went on for hours and nobody came to help.
Signor Tassi.
That I have raped her is not true. Nor that I've even had relations with her. In her house, there was a man called Francesco Scarpolino, with whom he couldn't trust a female cat. He was left alone with her both day and night. There's Pasquino from Florence. He boasted publicly that he'd had her. I visited their house with respect.
Would you be willing to confirm and substantiate your testimony under torture?
What, me?
I propose the moderate use of the Sabile. thumb screws.
Okay, but I'm not the one that's on trial here.
Let me explain. The instrument... The instrument is made of metal. And ropes. We will wrap the ropes around your fingers and pull tight. Pull tight enough and your fingers will break. Tighter still and they will be cut off.
Okay, but I'm not the one that's on trial here.
We understand that. We understand that, Artemisia. But we can't risk Signor Tassi's hands. He's a painter.
No, I'm a painter.
For the Pope. This is the surest way to strengthen your case and remove any mark of infamy.
No, I've told the truth. I've told the truth. I've told the truth here, and I always will.
Then please place your hands into the device and repeat your claims for the record.
I've told the truth, and I always will. I've told the truth. It is true. It is true.
It's not true.
It is true.
It's not true.
It is true.
It's not, though.
It
is
is
it?
true.
It's not true, Artemisia.
It is
It's not true. Are you just...
It is
Can you
true.
make it
Stop!
All right.
No, don't let her go. I want to ask her some questions.
Please proceed.
Oh, that can't be allowed.
I'm at a loss here, Artemisia.
Thank you, your lordship. Right, first off, who made you testify against me? Where did he approach you? With what words? Who was present?
It is truth that has induced me to testify against you and no one else.
Right, tell me exactly how, and with what opportunity I first had relations with you as you asserted were.
I've said so much about that already, both about the time and the place that it happened, that I really think it should be enough.
Right, tell me how I frequented your house. Tell me if anyone else frequented it, who they were.
I've already spoken about how he frequented my house, and yes, how many men would frequent my father's house, but nobody would ever come on my account.
Did your father provide for your needs?
Yes, sir, my father provided for my needs. What do you have to say about that?
No, did he make you one for anything? Did he leave you alone with men in the house?
No, no, he never left me alone with men in the house.
Francesco Scarpolino.
I was never left alone with Francesco Scarpolino. Whenever he was there, my brothers, they were also there.
Is it not true that Pasquino deflowered you?
When this Pasquino was in my house, I wasn't more than 7 years old. I never said that he deflowered
What?
me.
Is it not true that a man has deflowered you? God, to what end? And with what hope did you give this testimony?
I've testified in the hope that you'll be punished for the wrong that you did.
Let's say why you were forced, as you say.
What? Forced to testify or why I was raped?
Both.
Can't ask why she was raped, Tassie.
What protest did you make? Did you shout?
Why did you not make any noise?
I have already said that when you raped me, you held my mouth so I couldn't shout.
Right, what are the signs? What are the signs that a virgin shows when she's been deflowered? Say it. Say how you know it.
I have already said that when you raped me, I was on my period and my menstrual blood was redder than usual.
Who did you tell? Who did you brag